And welcome to the Dine with the Brands Draft Day show. We're starting it off hot today with the greatest and most impactful media personality in all of the world, Max Loeb.
I don't know about all that. But I love the Super Bowl trophy, man. That's great stuff.
Thank you. We're gonna get it after we draft Abdul. I'm gonna change your mind, Max.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to a new perspective because I think I'm pretty set on Travis Hunter.
Man, so you just said it. You think it's a lock at 2 with Travis Hunter?
I don't think it's a lock because I do think there's a world. I think it's a world. There's a world they trade down. Like I do think that's the case. I think that there are going to be a lot of teams who are willing to give up a lot to get Travis Hunter, like a lot. Like there's a couple ways it could go. I put out a video like a month ago, right after there was rumors or reports that Jerry Jones loved Travis Hunter, and I was like, that's a real like that. They Cowboys could get up there from 12, so that could happen. I mean, I could see the Jaguars and the Raiders getting up there. I don't know if they do it for Hunter. They may do it for Ashton Genty, but like, there's a lot of teams who are, I think, set on 4 players. Cam Ward's going to go 1. Abdul Carter's going to go in the top 4. Travis Hunter's going to go in the top 4. But the whole like Raiders, Jaguars dynamic with like this race for Genty type, I don't know. If the Raiders love him and they think the Jaguars are going to take him, they do what they can to get up, whether it's the Browns or somebody else. But I think it's more likely than not they just stay and pick. And if they stay and pick, I'm probably 90% sure it's going to be Travis Hunter.
So now, good. Yeah. So I want to hear a defense for why people would prefer clear-cut Travis Hunter over Abdul Carter at 2 for the Cleveland Browns. I need to know that.
I don't think it's like clear-cut. I think there's less concerns with Hunter. I think when you look at the dire needs for the Cleveland Browns, edge rusher is not one of them. I think it's one of the deeper defensive line in general is one of the deeper position groups they have on their team. I also think there's a lot of good edge rushers as you get later on into the first. And there's been a ton of rumors about the Browns trading back into the first round. There's official reports that have come out that said they've made calls and they say likely to take a quarterback. But who are we to say that the Browns quarterback is not Will Howard or Kyle McCord later on? Like there's a world where that exists and they trade up for an edge rusher. I don't think it's a wild thing to say that they could take Abdul Carter or like have a defense for it. But like I look at the Browns, the wide receiver room is extremely bare. The offense was an issue last year. They need points. Hunter's the best player on the board there, I think, that can get them points, that can get them playmaking ability. And honestly, on the other side of the ball, if you have him as a sub-package corner who is good in man coverage, the Browns play top 3 man coverage when the Jim Schwartz defense compared to everybody else in the NFL. It's a match made in heaven, I think, for Schwartz's scheme, what any offense wants to do. And I think it's not a no-brainer. There's no clear-cut, like, we'd be screwed if we took Abdul Carter. That's not the case. But I think it makes a lot more sense to take Travis Hunter.
I just have, and I'll let KFC, I'll let you ask your question after this. Again, it's the concern of, all right, well, he's very unique in a two-way athlete that is going to come into the NFL as a two-way athlete. Have there been previous two-way athletes? Yes, there have been. But at the same time, drafting one number 2 overall because of the Swiss Army knife that you're getting, that's the first player that you're like, hey, I can move him anywhere I want to all over the field. And the question that I ask is, okay, well, if that's the case, what is he on? If he's a two-way athlete, I want to know how good of a two-way athlete he is at the NFL level on both sides of the ball. Because you were really good in the Big 12 with Colorado. You're really good at Jackson State. I understand that. Doing both sides of the ball, you were just sometimes freak athleticism can get you there. Yeah. But if you're going to be, if you're going to be Jerry Jeudy-esque wide receiver and Greedy Williams corner, in the NFL is that 2 overall. You know what I mean? So, but if people are saying Terry McLaurin on offense and Champ Bailey on defense, well, if that's the case, then you're the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
That is insane. You know, even if I can get you on the defense side of the ball, playing a few snaps a game, being Champ Bailey, that's insane. But what's the reality look like with Travis Hunter? That's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah, it's tough because I think everybody wants the Terry McLaurin, Champ Bailey, like the best on both sides of the ball. I understand that Travis Hunter, he'll be the first to tell you that, like, I can play every snap on both sides of the ball. You know, maybe he can. Can he do it wildly effectively? Probably not. And I think the fact that Andrew Berry has said multiple times that he'd use him as a receiver first, then a corner, tells us pretty much everything we need to know about what he'd be doing. I think he is a starting wide receiver. He is a 90% of snap wide receiver. That's what he's going to do. He has incredible ball skills. He's a good enough route runner. He is good. Like, he's a good wide receiver. I think truly if he just played receiver, still would be the best receiver in the class. On the other side of the ball, I struggle to believe they'll ask him to be an every down corner, like the second corner or third corner. I struggle to believe that. And I think he wants to, and maybe he is just so talented that he can do it. But I think it's a much more realistic world where he's playing, again, 90-ish% of snaps on the offense side of the ball, and then he's a sub-package corner on third downs, or he's coming into spell Martin Emerson for a series, whatever it may be. Like, especially because they play so much man coverage, they're probably never going to ask Travis Hunter to line up across from not even the first best receiver, the second best receiver, because you have Ward and Emerson. And we haven't even talked about Greg Newsome on that side of the ball. I love Greg Newsome. The reality is he might get traded tonight. We don't know. We don't know. So having that piece to come in and be the third corner, I don't think he'd be like an every down nickel. They'd have to find somebody else for that. Being the third corner in a man-heavy or man-centric package, like, you could trust him to cover the third best pass catcher out there, I think.
That's a good point. I think I like the likelihood of him being that wide receiver 2 option and seeing him bud into a wide receiver 1. Because, again, the appeal is there, right? We have not drafted a fantastic wide receiver since Josh Gordon. And we all know, he was amazing on the field, off the field. We all know what the problems were. But I think that it's important for the Cleveland Browns to put themselves in position to get the best player available. So, KFC, you had a question before I go on another team.
So I want to bounce something off like your question. It's like what I see Travis Hunter is like I see him full-time wide receiver, and I also see him, like you said, Max, kind of like a part-time DB. But I think his route running and his like football knowledge is what's going to escalate him into that top-tier wide receiver. And the way he runs his routes and the way he can contort his body and catch the ball. Because, I mean, some of them passes, like, see, I love Shedeur Sanders. I mean, I was there, too, for, like, just, like, a little bit. And then I was just, like, I came to the realization, I'm like, you can't really pass on Travis Hunter. No. And he's just so quick. And the way he can jump up and make a play on any ball that's thrown his way, I think that's what makes him that dangerous wide receiver. And, you know, what they say about DBs, though, they're wide receivers that can't catch, and he can catch.
Yes.
So exactly. I mean, they could bump him into like maybe like a safety role every once in a while. You know, if they want to run Newsome, Emerson, and Denzel playing man on the corners, then have him kind of drop back into coverage as like a third safety or something here and there, because we are kind of thin at safety as well.
Extremely.
So
that's very true. That is very true.
So I mean, you never know. Mac kind of made that point a few days ago, and I had never thought about it. And then I like really looked into it and was like, you know, that could be something. There could be something there with that. But
safety position is very, very bare. And I even talked about, like, I've been on the trade back into one for whoever trained for a long, long time. But like I've talked about it where if there's going to be a run on, I think, either receivers or safeties at the end of round 1. And assuming the Browns take Travis Hunter, they're not going to move up to get a receiver. If there's a run on receivers and they feel like they're quarterbacks later on, they're going to sit at 33, I think. But if there's a run on safeties, there's a lot of really good guys who will go in that like 28 to 35 range, where if they're so convicted on one guy, they'd probably trade up to get him, and it wouldn't take like the package that we've seen for them to trade up with Denver to get a quarterback. They're leaping 33 to 20, or trading with like Tampa, it's 33 to 19. They'd probably be jumping 33 to 28 or 29. Like, it wouldn't take as much as it would take to get up to 20 or so. But I'm with you. The safety need that has to be priority one on the defensive side of the ball. But I don't know where the defensive priorities even come in the draft, because I think there's offense on a lot of fronts.
Mm-hmm. See, I would be perfectly fine with the first 4 picks, like 2, 33, 67, and 94, all being just straight offense.
I wouldn't be upset about that either. I think that's how it could go, to be honest.
Yeah. And then like 104, I'm a heavy hitter. If this guy is there at 104, I want Deion Walker on that defensive line, because hear me out. I'm gonna make a case, because I've had a lot of people.
It's a Kentucky thing, bro.
I'm telling you. Okay, last year, when they were doing the way too early mock drafts, you can go look at them. Deion Walker was a consensus top 10 pick. He is 6'6", 330 pounds. Go watch the tape from 23 before he had a hurt back last year. 7 sacks at the defensive tackle position in the SEC.
Pretty good.
The last time you tried to talk me into a player, they were mixing mayonnaise in their coffee, and now Tennessee is trying to ship them to another team.
We didn't need a quarterback at that time. I was saying he's going to be a first-round pick. He wasn't. And guess what? Hey, your boy that you was hopping up wasn't any better, okay? AR-15 ain't much better.
AR-15, listen, AR-15, I admit I was wrong on AR-15. Listen, Max, I know you have some allegiances. And watch me divert, because I'm going to divert before I'm proven wrong. Max, I know you have some allegiances to the New York Giants. I want to talk to you a little bit about that, because it feels like some of the picks that they're going to be taking are near and dear to my heart, right? I have an Abdul Carter jersey on right now. I got the Abdul Carter. I got the Carter jersey on.
I love that.
I think it's unfortunate, because I think Abdul Carter is going to go to the New York Giants, and I also think the New York Giants are going to trade back up and go to the Darty party and get Jackson Dart from Ole Miss. It breaks my heart, because those are the 2 players that I really like for the Cleveland Browns. Yeah. Unfortunately, we might get, I like Travis Hunter. I like where his mind's at off the field. He's my favorite prospect mentally off the field, if that makes sense. Yeah. Because if all my prospects can have that mentality off the field, I would love it. But do you think from a kind of like a Giants allegiance as well, do you like the package better? Would you like a Travis Hunter, Jalen Milroe for the Giants package better, or would you like an Abdul Carter, Jackson Dart package? That's a loaded question.
Yeah, I mean, for the Giants specifically, so it's Dart, Carter, and Hunter Milroe, you said?
Yes.
See, I would probably rather have Hunter Milroe, to be honest with you. Like, I think, especially when you look at the Giants roster too, like, they need a receiver, they need they just need corners straight up, but they need corners, quarterback. Like, Dart and Milroe, they're very, very different prospects, but like, I don't think one is wildly talented or more talented than the other, to be honest with you. One has more upside. I think one's coming in a little bit more suited to play in the NFL. But if I'm the Giants, Browns, Raiders, probably going to take quarterback pretty early. Let's see who else. Saints. Steelers are different, but those 4 teams, like, you want a guy who can blossom into something special. That, to me, at the highest upside in the draft is Jalen Milroe, and I don't think there's a lot of reasons.
No, I agree. I agree about that.
But upside's a double-edged sword. Like, you can draft somebody with all this upside, and you're taking a swing, you're trading back into the first round to take him, or very, very early second, and you're wasting a prime pick, or potentially wasting a prime pick on somebody who's not coming in the NFL right now, ready to go, and maybe he doesn't blossom in. Like, there's issues with that, but I think Hunter, to me, is the best player in the draft, and I think I'd rather have him over Abdul Carter, just in like a general like team sense.
Over Abdul Carter with no Brian Burns, Sexy Dexy, and Kayvon Thibodeau with Abdul Carter, that doesn't interest you, Max?
Oh no, it interests me very much. Don't get that wrong. But like I said, there's not so many. There's good edge rushers that will be there for the Giants at 34. there's good edge rushers that the Giants could, trade back in for. Like, I think the edge rusher, let me put it this way. You're more likely to find somebody with a talent level closer to Abdul Carter's than a talent level closer to Travis Hunter's, I think.
Interesting. Like, so again, I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. The only thing that I say is that the athleticism, right? Because the athleticism is hard to find.
Yes.
But I start to question the talent at specific positions. Man, oh man, even if this man is Justin Jefferson on offense, right? Is he Justin Jefferson as a wide receiver? We don't know.
Probably not.
Right? Yeah. Probably not. Obviously, those LSU guys, Malik Neighbors and Brian Thompson Jr., obviously, and Jamar Chase, obviously. But I think it's hard to compare those guys to the likes of Travis Hunter. But we do know Travis Hunter athletically is a freak. My problem is, talent-wise, I have question marks because I just don't know how good he could potentially be for me. Because remember, Abdul Carter doesn't play just one position. He technically could play linebacker for you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He can move. He can move around the field. He obviously can't play corner, but I mean he can move around the box for you as well. Yeah. So I don't like people just say, "Oh, people want an edge rusher, number 2 overall." Just an edge rusher. You can move him around, and we have question marks with JOK, and we've been a little thin at linebacker. Taki. We've had a couple of people who were there, and so I feel like personally, Travis Hunter's, when it comes to the talent level, when it comes to the athleticism, you're 100% correct. He blows everybody out of the water. I don't know if we've seen something like this in the NFL. So you got to pick it up because the possibilities are endless. Yep. But my question is talent level. I don't want him not to be so good not to be good on defense, not to be good on offense, and we end up using him as a punt return. You know what I mean? Even if he's one of the greatest punt returners of all time.
I think I don't know if there's like a way to put it, but I think there's an assumption that Travis Hunter can't be elite on both sides. Like there's some weird whether it's because I think it's probably because nobody's done it before.
Yes. That's the problem. Yes, I agree.
There's no reason to believe just pretend Travis Hunter never played corner. Go watch the offensive film. You're like, okay, this guy's a damn good. He's going to be a top whatever pick in the draft at receiver. Go watch Travis Hunter play corner without watching any of the offensive film. You're like, damn, this guy's a really good corner. He could be a top, whatever pick in the NFL draft. He's elite at both. He won the DB award at the hair. I can't remember the name of the DB.
Is it Bolitnikov or is that wide receiver?
That's wide receiver.
That's wide receiver.
He won a bunch of those. He won awards on both sides of the ball. He's elite on both sides of the ball. And I get the whole the Abdul Carter thing. The potential is endless there too. And I think it's really, really interesting that he's only scratched the surface or supposedly scratched the surface at edge rusher, but he's only played a certain amount of games at edge rusher.
Yeah.
He's traditionally an off ball Sam type will backer. But I also I get the question marks with JOK. Him and JOK would pretty much play the same role on the Browns. They would be the same backside game record type player. And it's tough to have 2 of those guys in your linebacker room. Obviously, the talent is there, but just the roles and that playing, the go clean up the backside, go make a play off the edge. It's tough to have 2 guys. You need a strong side guy you can anchor down. That's why I think Greg Newsome is so good in those sub-package roles as a nickel because he's very smart and he can hold his own in the run game. But I don't know. I don't think it's an issue with talent. Both those guys are extremely talented and both have extremely high ceilings in the offensive world, the defensive world, whatever. I just think with Hunter, the ceiling's a little bit higher because of the both sides thing. And I think it's worth taking a chance on him, especially because it is more of a position of need, I think, than an edge rusher or off-ball linebacker. Because those guys, unless your name is, Myles Garrett or some of the top edge rushers that have gone in the past, they do tend to fall a little bit, not outside of the first round if you're that special, but they do tend to fall a little bit. And I think we're also just I talked about it 10 minutes ago, kind of overlooking the fact that the Browns, who again have officially made trade offers to trade back in, right?
Yes.
They could be doing that for an edge rusher or an off-ball linebacker. It said likely for a quarterback. They could still be doing it for an edge rusher for all we know. I don't know if they'd be doing it for a receiver corner hybrid. There is no other one, and they can't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a very good point. I haven't heard that explained that way unless you wanted to go Abdul Carter and then go quarterback.
Mhm.
That's the only option I would potentially think. But again, it seems interesting to me that the New York Giants and the Cleveland Browns are in a very, very, very similar situation.
Yeah.
You know, it's just draft pick wise, who you would want, the combination of players who you would want seems pretty similar.
It does.
I think the quarterback. I think that's the biggest thing for both.
Yeah.
'Cause I think
I don't know.
both have well-shaped defenses, kinda.
Yeah, it's tough because I think like the Giants and Browns, like all last year, all offseason, have been grouped together because they're so bad and they've been competing for a top 3 pick. For the beginning of the offseason, they were quote unquote competing for Shedeur Sanders. Like they've just been naturally grouped together. I think the Giants are in a better situation offensively. I think the receiver room is deeper and it's better. I trust the Giants quarterback situation a little bit more than the Browns right now. I think the offensive line is probably a little bit better too. I think they're in a better world offensively that they can afford to take a luxury in Abdul Carter at 3 instead of trading back and getting their quarterback at the middle of the first or something like that. Like I think they can afford that. And I think I don't know. I think the Giants defense and Browns defense is pretty comparable at their best. I think the Browns is probably a little bit better, but I don't think the Giants are a team that drastically needs a defensive talent like you're talking about, Manny. I think it's more of a luxury for them. I think at 3, like the Giants roster right now, at least how I look at it, it's pretty much holistically solid. Like there's no stars outside of Dexter Lawrence and Malik Neighbors and Brian Burns, but holistically, like it's solid. I think their offensive line is solid. I think the receiver room needs a little work, but there's a star in there, and you have guys who have produced in the past. Secondary got way better this offseason. The linebacker room's solid. Running back solid. Like they're solid all around. I look at the Browns like you need receivers. I love Jerry Jeudy. He'll be great, but you need somebody else. Cedric Tillman could play every game. That may be a different story, but you need somebody else. I think the Browns safety position, especially, you need somebody else. And I think that's a really good point, Christian. Like you brought up, Travis Hunter he's not a safety. And
I was just meaning like maybe like an extra DB in coverage, like deep or something like that.
Exactly. And if you bring that guy in the sub package, that is you're filling your safety need or your quote unquote DB need if you're rolling 5 DBs, 6 DBs out there with Travis Hunter too. And that's a sub package. I think it's not an every down thing. So I think it just makes a lot of sense that it's Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I really want Travis. I think he's going to be such a transcendent talent for the Browns because I think not only will he bring hope, he'll bring a presence. And I think we've drafted so many guys and had so many like receivers come in, and they're more about like the glamour, the glitz, the lights. It's like we get these like media star wide receivers, if that makes sense. And Travis Hunter gives me the vibe of he just loves football. Yes, and we need more guys like that.
Yeah, and I think if you're like, man, you said it. He's the best off-field like mindset prospect in the draft. With like not even close. Like he is. Yeah. You want that guy on your football team, whether that mentality, that approach is in a 7th round pick or a 1st round pick. Like you want somebody like that on your team.
Well, 100%. And I want to make myself clear too, because I have a feeling at exactly 8:14 p.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time, I'm about to get roasted and toasted in the DMs and mentions when Travis Hunter is taken number 2 overall, and I and people are going to make it look like I hate that pick. I don't hate that pick. Truthfully, if it wasn't for Abdul Carter being there, I would say Travis Hunter is it's 1A, 1B to me.
Yeah.
I just happen to like Abdul Carter more because to me, I'm more certain with Abdul Carter. But what I'll be totally okay with is with a Travis Hunter situation, because I've watched the interviews. The Sports Illustrated did a fantastic interview with Travis Hunter, and he was going out there fishing, and he has a fantastic head on his shoulders, and I can't say enough about that.
So Manny, I got something that's going to
Shedeur. It's just Shedeur that I have a problem.
That's fair.
I'm gonna give you something that's gonna sell you on Travis Hunter. Are you ready?
Good.
Okay. So okay, you just said it. You got questions on Shedeur. Okay. He was throwing him to football. Why is Shedeur getting talked about so highly? How many, all the touchdowns he's thrown, all the yards that he threw to Travis Hunter? You think he has a big part in why he's getting all this talk that he's going to be a first-round pick? And you have a big question marks on him? Did he get his quarterback drafted in the first round?
He did, but the problem, man, oh man. In an alternate universe, people are so upset with me when I say this, and I to be honest with you, I don't care. I wish he would have played a better conference, like Big 12, Kansas, the Jayhawks, a basketball school. Are you kidding me?
See,
Oklahoma State put up 468 yards the last game of the season versus Oklahoma State Cowboys. Can you name one player on that team? No, you can't. I help you out.
Ollie Gordon.
It drives me crazy. Ollie, okay, fine. Ollie Gordon. One of them to the Senior Bowl. Fine. Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon the second. Shout out to Ollie Gordon the second. But listen, it drives me insane because I can't gauge how well they're doing, and not to mention, Shedeur Sanders is throwing air balls because it's in Colorado air. It's hard for me to gauge.
See, I think the big school thing to me only really applies with guys in the trenches because your good trench players will be at bigger schools. Your skill players, depending on their actions, their grades, and all that, they can vary. Because I've seen some really good DBs, really good wide receivers go to really crappy
schools. Come out of really, really crappy schools.
And same with quarterbacks.
Absolutely. That's true.
Before Max goes, I did promise him I would do this. Got my Red Bull right here. I just got it's draft day.
There it is.
Got to crack open. This is a little bit bigger of a Red Bull too. So
I'll get on though.
All right, let's see. I'm trying not to get this on the carpet. Okay.
Deep breath. I gotta find out what ounce that is. I see some drippage.
Yeah, it came out of the top.
No, you're good.
It is a 12-ouncer.
Hell yeah. Good stuff.
There you go.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me on. I am so excited for today. And not even just today. Like, tomorrow is going to rock. Tuesday is going to
Yes. Absolutely.
All those picks, that's where I think whether it's quarterback, running back, tight end, that's where the fun picks are going to be after probably Travis Hunter tonight. But I appreciate you guys having me on. We'll stay in touch the next couple of days. And go Browns. Go Giants as well, but go Browns.
Go Browns, go Giants.
Thanks for having on, man. We appreciate it.
Make sure you guys follow Max. Make sure you watch his show with Chef Say, Honor the Land. Great show, great product, new show out there. So it's extremely fun to have you on there. And we look forward to seeing you soon.
Yes, sir. See you guys soon. Appreciate you.
See you, Max. Oh, yeah, great. Max was great. It's hard
Max
to beat.
was awesome. It's hard to beat. Hard to beat. I listen. I'll be completely honest though. I'm glad that we're not talking about Shedeur Sanders anymore. That's number one. But really, for people, it seems as though everyone kind of talked themselves into Travis Hunter over social media out of nowhere. They're all like Travis Hunter, and I'm like, hey, you guys.
I've always been a big Travis Hunter guy. It just felt like there for a minute that we weren't going to get him just because of the need at quarterback. And I really just was listening to a lot of people just talk about they're going to address the quarterback.
You need it.
And it was like they're going to take a quarterback at 2. And so I was just like, all right, let me evaluate all the options because that's how I base my opinion off of. Because I don't want to get hyped for a player that we're not even going to touch. Because I'm tired of that. I always try to look at the ties, the connections, and so there was a lot of connections with Shedeur there for a minute at 2.
That's what drove me nuts though. KFC. I just feel like we all were saying, not we all, because I from day one, I didn't want Shedeur Sanders. As soon as the college football season ended, I said, do not get him. And I knew we could be at 2 overall. Do not get Shedeur. Like, I don't care if we need a quarterback. I don't care if we need one badly. And if we still need one, don't get him. Because I just don't think he's worth that high of a pick. And then it just so happens when more and more people, like you were saying, said, hey, you know what? Let's go get ourselves another guy. Let's go get ourselves a Travis Hunter and all this other stuff. All of a sudden, that's what's annoying to me.
Well, the thing that really clicked for me, because, I mean, even before the season started, I was big on Travis Hunter. I just didn't think he would make it to us because it was kind of unclear about Cam Ward going to the Titans. And I was, I kind of thought he would go first because the Titans came out and said, we're going to take a generational talent. And, he's pretty much one of the few, like, because when you say generational, means he's got his own way of playing. He's like a star-studded, like once in every 10 to 15 years type player.
Yes.
And so I was like, okay, clear cut, it's Travis Hunter going first. And now it's like Cam Ward's the lock at 1. And the way they approach free agency, we haven't brought in any wide receivers. And we got 3 on the roster, dude.
Yeah.
3 or 4. I'm sorry. Mike Woods is on the team too. So we've got Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, Jamari Thrash, and Mike Woods. That's 4.
Yeah.
Mike Woods.
Technically David Bell.
3. Is he still on the team?
Yeah. David Bell?
Oh, he was with the practice squad signing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think you're right. I think that I don't know. I just feel as though I'm getting cold feet as we're getting closer because so many people have shifted to Travis Hunter. And I'm not just saying this at you because you've been on Travis Hunter, right? You just wanted a quarterback first, right? But I'm saying now everybody is like Travis Hunter. And I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. What is the likelihood that the Cleveland Browns drafts, maybe this is revisionist history, what is the odds that the Cleveland Browns draft this most generational, exceptional, crazy athlete who is both sides of the ball and is 2 players in one, and you're drafting 2 players and in one position, and it works out. It's like the same thing how I thought about drafting Shedeur. What are the odds that we draft Shedeur and he's this quarterback savior who for the next 15 years could go up next to Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, like what in this division, in this conference?
See, I think Shedeur could still be a good quarterback. I think he's got the ball knowledge. I think he's got a good enough arm and the accuracy to be a good quarterback in the league, depending on his
in the third round.
Dude, no.
I'll take him in the 3rd round.
He's not making it out of the first. I mean,
I understand that, but I'm saying if you got him in the 3rd round.
If he's there at 33, I would be cool with taking him because I think I could really see the Browns moving up and taking Jalen Milroe. And a lot of people don't even like Jalen Milroe. But
I like what Jalen Milroe could be at the back half of the 1st round more than I like what Shedeur Sanders could be at 2 or trading back up into the top 10. Does that make sense? Like, I like that better.
With Shedeur, around that same time period that we would possibly get Milroe is the connection between him and Travis Hunter. They've been together for 3 years. And, you like your boy over there in Cincy, Joe Burrow. Him and Jamar have just an insane connection.
Yeah.
Because they know where they're going to be at. It'd be kind of the same thing. I'm not comparing Shedeur to Joe Burrow. But, that connection's real, dude. Like, when you can keep a wide receiver with their quarterback and vice versa, that connection's going to be there. And like moving forward, you need that connection going on. And I think that could be beneficial. I think I would be okay with it if they moved into like the later part, like the back, like the bottom 12 picks somewhere in there to just kind of jump Pittsburgh. because if he makes it to 20, Pittsburgh's going to or 21. Pittsburgh's going to take
Pittsburgh's 100%.
And that's one thing I don't want.
Are you concerned about that?
I'm very concerned about that because I don't want to have to hate Shedeur. That's my problem. Because I like his aura, if that makes sense. Like everybody hates him, and I love quarterbacks like that because that's kind of how Baker was going into the league.
Johnny Manziel, a little bit, yeah.
I love that aura for a quarterback because it gives them a chip on their shoulder.
I don't know how many quarterbacks do well with that, have that aura do well besides a guy like Cam Newton. First and foremost, but I like that aura too. Don't get me wrong, I like that aura as well. I do, but
it depends on where they go and how they adjust to the NFL. I think that's a lot, and the coaching is the biggest part on that.
But for the most part, if you had that aura in college, typically you don't do well in the NFL. You're talking about your Johnny Manziels, you're talking about your Baker Mayfield, you're talking about your Cam Newton, you're talking about your even Josh Rosen coming out, and you just have this kind of thing to you. You typically don't really do well in the NFL. But again, Cam Newton is that exception to me. Lamar Jackson is also that exception to me. But I will say in my head, if we trade back up into the back half of the first round and do draft a Shedeur Sanders, but before I say that, 100% I agree with you. If Shedeur Sanders is on the Pittsburgh Steelers, I know that you're saying it would be a bad thing. I do kind of agree it would be tough. It wouldn't be hard for me to hate him.
Oh yeah, dude.
It wouldn't be hard for me to root against
that jersey. I hate him.
I can't stand.
Well, it's like Lamar, dude. Like I have a double hatred for this dude. He went to Louisville and now
and plays for the Ravens. So and he's good. So which drives me nuts. But I will say, would you be upset if the Cleveland Browns did trade back into the first round and say that Shedeur Sanders went to the Saints, which we all think is not going to be happening anymore? But to be honest with you, this is one of the greatest smoke screens drafts that I've seen in a very long time.
It's nuts because I think he's going to go a lot sooner than a lot of people think too. Like, I mean, honestly, because the amount of hate and the amount of like slide that Shedeur has had in the last just week is insane. I've never seen it unless it's for a guy that's gonna get picked and people just don't want them. Like they want them to think that he's sliding.
Yes,
or a team's thinking about trading up and getting him.
1,000%. And when I'm looking over some of the stuff that I'm seeing, I'm looking at specifically the Saints would want nothing more than for Shedeur Sanders to fall. The number one team, truthfully, that I believe wants Shedeur Sanders to fall, the LA Rams. Oh, yeah, I think that the LA Rams would shock the world. I think if they were able to sit there at 26, if Shedeur Sanders was on the board at 26 for the LA Rams, I think the LA Rams would get him. And if Shedeur Sanders falls past Seattle, past Tampa Bay, if these are the 17, but maybe even before Seattle, because some people think Seattle might get Shedeur Sanders. But if Shedeur Sanders gets to 17, 16 with the Arizona Cardinals and the Cincinnati Bengals, I believe the Rams might take a flyer out and try to trade up right there before they get to Pittsburgh. I really do.
Well, okay, let me look at the draft order real quick. Let me see who needs a wide receiver really bad. So could you see the Falcons trading that pick maybe to the the Dolphins are pick ahead of them. Let me look.
I can see two teams trading down, and I want to put it on the record. The 49ers.
Maybe the Dolphins could trade because I think Tyreek Hill's going to get traded today or tomorrow. Do you think that the Dolphins could trade Tyreek Hill plus a pick, move back up, still get a good offensive lineman, maybe a Mimbu or whatever his name is, or maybe somebody in that, or maybe a Josh Simmons, somebody like that at 13, and then trade back up to the Falcons, trade Tyreek Hill, and a pick and then take Shador?
I don't know why Miami would take Shador. To be honest with you, I have Miami. If Miami now Miami taking a quarterback, I agree with that look that you just made. Miami taking a quarterback, I would not be surprised. And in fact, the quarterback that I specifically have them taking is Dylan Gabriel, because he's short in stature and he's a left-handed quarterback, and it's really hard to flip your entire offense for a left-handed quarterback or a right-handed quarterback, and Tua has been that quarterback for 4 or 5 years now. So I think you wanna get a quarterback who, because Dylan Gabriel, you could still get him late. He's not going to go high. So I think Miami is going to take a flyer out on him pretty dang early.
Yeah,
considering maybe third round.
Could you imagine having a polarizing figure like Shador in Miami?
I agree. I totally.
That would put butts in seats. That would.
That would. But
on every cover of the magazines.
I'll put it this way. If Tua was healthy last season, the Miami Dolphins are making the playoffs. The Miami Dolphins are making the playoffs.
That's the thing, is how many times has Tua been concussed? Like, that's the thing, is how many more times can he be concussed?
Right. I doubt that the Miami Dolphins would take such a...
It's just an idea, because I do think that they'll move back up and try to get another first round, because they're trading Tyreek. Like, it's happening.
No, I agree with you. I agree. Absolutely. No, I agree that they're trading Tyreek Hill. I just don't know if they would, having Tua, bringing in a quarterback who can start for you week one, as highly as polarizing as Shador, and using that as a first round pick. Now, if Shador fell to them in the second round, you could probably do it.
Well, you get a year with
to 48.
I mean, you got him to that big contract now. You move him, get that off the cap. Then you've got all that cap opened up. You trade him to like a team that's really quarterback needy, because this year's class isn't that good. Like, I mean, it ain't as deep, is what I meant. Like, I mean, I think it's good. I think it's been overhated just because of the people that are in it. Like,
across the board or a quarterback?
Just across the board, I think it's better than what people give it credit for. Because I think projects, and I think guys like Will Howard, I think they're good. I don't think they're great, but I mean, I think you got a lot of like career backups in this draft class.
Well, 100%, and I think that people are making it seem like it's going to be that 2013 NFL draft with Eric Fisher and Luke Jockle and Lane Johnson, and you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think it's going to be that bad.
A lot of people are comparing it to that Kenny Pickett draft, and I don't see that. Like, the Kenny Pickett draft was such a weird class because you had a lot of people get a COVID year, and so a lot of people stayed and then went in that next year's draft class. And I think now, and a lot of people have hated on this draft class, like even just throughout the whole class, but I think it's a lot better than people give it credit for, just because people are older, they're more polished. Like, there's guys in this draft class that are coming out. Like, most of these quarterbacks are like 23 and 24. Like Cam Ward and Milroe and Dart are like the only three that aren't 22 or 23 right now.
Yes. 100%.
And like, there's so many older players, and like there for so long, it was like people were always trying to get like the 20-year-old, 21-year-olds. Like, you wanted to stay younger, but now you're like, if you get these guys that are a little bit older, they're more win now capable.
And it's certainly not the Kenny Pickett draft of 2022, because obviously the quarterbacks are better than that draft. I mean, you're going to have a quarterback go number one overall to the Titans.
I think Jalen Milroe, dude, I get it. I understand the worry and the hesitancy to draft him. Yeah, but I've watched about every quarterback that's coming out of the SEC in the past few years, like in person. I watched Jalen Milroe under Tommy Rees in Saban's last SEC like regular season game 2 years ago. Or last year, I'm sorry. It was insane. Like, the dude commanded the field. Like, he hit the field, and it was like this dude's amazing. It was like he was rolling out. He kept it like you would see him like reading all his options, and he would just find a way to like get it down the field. Like he thought the play was over, he would sneak out, run up. Like against Kentucky, I think Milroe had like 400 total yards and like 6 touchdowns. I don't quote me on that stat line, but I think it's somewhere around that.
Let me check.
And I know he had 6 touchdowns for sure. I think 3 were passing, 3 were rushing.
Yeah,
but because we lost like 42-14 or something like that, it was awful. And
they had. So would you say though? Would you? So I could see Miami doing that. I could see Miami going back to what you're saying. I just thought about this because I had to look it up. If Miami did do that and get Shedeur Sanders, I'm wondering if. I'm wondering if. I'll put it this way. I really think the LA Rams could benefit more from Shedeur Sanders being behind Matt Stafford for another year.
Oh,
or two.
Yeah, for sure.
And, you know what I mean? And playing indoors, you're in that division with, you know, you're not playing in Miami where you got to play in. You know what I mean? You got the Niners, beautiful weather. You got the Cardinals, indoor stadium, and then you got the Seattle Seahawks, which Seattle's a little rainy. It get cold, but I mean, it's not like playing the New York Jets in that division in the AFC East with the Miami Dolphins.
That division is so odd. I feel like it is so odd because the years that you think they're going to suck, they put like all the teams in the playoffs. And the years that you're like, that division's going to dominate football, they suck. Like last year.
Yeah. If the Rams beat the Eagles, they're going to the Super Bowl because I think they could beat the Commanders. I truly think that. I think that if the Rams, they're 1 win away because if they would have gone to the Commanders, I think they would have gone to the Super Bowl. And if that's the case, 2 plays away. Exactly. So if that's the case, it's like, man, the Rams are pretty good over there. But obviously the NFC.
Stafford's so knowledgeable. And dude, Stafford's like one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. I don't know if I'd necessarily put him like in a top 5 role or anything. I think you'd need like a Super Bowl or 2 before I'd put him in there. Like all time. But like just to watch, like favorite to watch. Stafford, the way he throws the ball, the way he processes the field is amazing. And I do think he could benefit from a guy like that. Shedeur could. And because that's one of the things. That's one of his biggest knocks is holding on to the ball too long. And Stafford's one of the quickest to get it out. So I think that point's great. I'm trying to think of like just random stuff because this draft is just so there's too much smoke for something crazy not to happen tonight. And so I got a question before I know Mike's getting ready to hop in here in about 9 or 10 minutes. Who is one prospect that you think that could fall today? Because there's always one guy that's like projected top 10 and something weird happens and he falls out of the top 10.
I think when I'm looking at it right now, because that's a great question because I was thinking about it in a little bit. I'm wondering if a guy like the first one that popped in my head was Will Johnson, corner out of Michigan. I think Will Johnson, corner out of Michigan. I think that he can fall. I think that I'm surprised. I don't know. I feel like the Dallas Cowboys want Ashton Jeanty too much. So I don't think that Ashton Jeanty would fall out of the top 10. I think that if he's getting closer,
he goes 5.
I think you get to Jacksonville?
Mm-hmm.
Really? I for sure feel like Jacksonville might go Mason Graham.
See, that defense is tough. Jacksonville's got a decent defense. And there's been a lot of smoke. There's too much smoke for there not to be something there with their interest in Jeanty. And, honestly, wouldn't be shocked if the Patriots went Jeanty. Like, I could see them because this tackle class Like in the second round, you got to think if Josh Cornerly's there, they could
You're
move
gonna
up
get. There are some guys down there that you would definitely get if a Josh Connerly's there. If what's another name I'm thinking of? As an offensive tackle, Josh Connerly, Ursery,
Yeah.
Josh Simmons is. So I know, but I think the guy that will fall in the top 10, 100%.
Yeah.
Teteroa McMillan from Arizona. 100%.
that.
He's falling out of the top 10. I just don't see.
With Will Johnson, I could see him falling into the 20s.
T-Mac or Will Johnson?
Yeah. Will Johnson. I think I could see him falling that far because of the injury, and there's a few other DBs in this draft class that are like pretty highly put up there. Like, I mean, you got the cat out of Texas. Can't really think it's like Jaheed or something. I could see him.
Jahad Barron, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think there's going to be like a run in the first round with just like random players that you wouldn't think. Like I know there's going to be
that you would not think, and that's why I can't wait for our mock draft. Are we doing a mock draft for the Browns, or are we doing it for? Oh my gosh!
So we're gonna do like a get him. I think we can do one real quick if you want to, or.
Yeah, so I know we have one. I know we have one slated for what is it, 12?
Actually, right now.
Oh, right now at 12?
Yeah, no, we're supposed to do one like right now, like as soon as what's his face got off. Oh, rumor from Jordan Schultz, Browns, Greg Newsome, and Ogbo Okoronkwo are
on the trade block.
Are available via trade entering the draft tonight.
Interesting. Okay, so let's see. So I'm wondering where that. Wow. Interesting.
But here, let's run through just like a quick mock draft before. I'm gonna message Mock real quick, but I think the consensus number 2 pick is obviously Travis Hunter. I think that's the way we go. So fine, we'll go with him. This is where it gets a little interesting. We're not going to make any trades.
Yeah.
So 33, who you think?
At 33 for us, if it's Travis Hunter?
Yeah.
Depends. Is there a quarterback? We're got a quarterback. I really truly believe that it's going to be quarterback. Is our quarterback available?
Oh yeah, Walter Nolan's there. That would be
insane.
So we've got Jalen Milroe,
and Jackson Dart. To be honest with you, it's got to be between Jalen Milroe and Jackson Dart, and it's a coin flip. It's a coin flip of which one you want to go. Who do you think? Truthfully, you can't go. You can't go wrong with 3.
I'm not a big Dart guy. I don't want.
Let's go, Jalen Milroe. You got to go Jalen Milroe. If he's there at 33, you're gonna go Jalen Milroe.
We'll go Jalen. See, I'm not a big Dart guy. I don't think he processes the field well. I think if once he goes to that second read, he takes forever to find it, and I just don't think that'll make it to that next level because they had an insane offensive line last year.
And I'm going to help you out. 67 and 94 has to be, depending on which way you want to do it, which prospects. I think you got to go either running back and then tackle, or then tackle or running back. So you got I love the top 4 being offense, or if you did go Abdul Carter number 2 overall, you could just go and get offense for your next 4 picks. But 67, 94
right here. But this is who I would want at that pick.
I would love Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. I would love Caleb Johnson. I would absolutely love Caleb Johnson, but unfortunately, he's not. DJ Giddens is nice. DJ Giddens. Yeah. Shout out to Terrence on Twitter. Terrence put me on and got me hip to RJ Harvey and DJ Giddens. So there's some guys that are in the running back room that you could definitely.
But Samson's the reason Tennessee went as far as they did, like making the college playoffs. Like the dude was insane. I'm pretty sure he
Yeah.
had like 20 rushing touchdowns last year, or 21 or something like that. Let me make sure.
That's true.
Well, it's not going to say. Let's
Because we need a
see.
running back.
Right.
Even if we get Nick Chubb back, we got to get a running back.
So in the SEC, 1,400 yards, 5.8 yards per carry, 20 rushing touchdowns. That's insane, especially in the SEC. See, at this point, if Dylan Sampson's not there, I like these other 3 running backs, but I don't like them at 67.
Yeah.
If we go running back, I want to go Dylan Sampson. Let's
go Dylan Sampson.
Let's see who the tackles are real quick. You got Ursaray.
Ursary's still there?
I might be down for that actually.
I would low key rather go Ursary than go. If I had to choose, I would rather pick the better tackle than pick the better running back.
Yeah.
I'll go Ursary here for Minnesota.
Okay, I'm down for that. Draft him. He's a Brown.
He's a Brown. And then at 90, Xavier Restrepo's there? But he's slow. He had a really slow 45.
Wyatt, sir. That's tough.
Wyatt Millums? Who's running backs are there?
Jack Sawyer's still there.
Jack Sawyer's still there. Yeah.
Devin
Neal, Jaden Blue. Jaden Blue's not bad. Jalen Blue's not bad at all.
See, I wouldn't mind Trevor Etienne really late in the draft, like as a second back.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I know he's a Michigan guy, but again, Donovan Edwards, I don't mind Donovan Edwards. All of his players, his whole team went to the National Football League. So it's just hard for him to have, you know what I mean? So I not that I give him a mulligan, but when you're playing in the Big Ten and now you got those schools out in the Pac-12 coming over, you know, you're going to need a line. I just think everyone focused in on Donovan Edwards. It doesn't help when you have a target on your back on the cover of.
Look at that. Both the past 2 picks, the running back I would want at those spots have been taken.
That's the draft for you. That's the draft for you.
That's how it goes,
That is the draft for you. I would say Jack Sawyer is very intriguing. I would love a guy like that, but Devin Neal, you'd have to go Devin Neal or Jaden Blue.
I mean, he was the reason their offense was humming.
Exactly.
When it did hum.
Exactly.
Let's see. He did have a game against Colorado.
Yeah, that was that Kansas game versus Colorado. Xavier Restrepo still there?
Harold.
Harold Fannin. I don't know if I even want to look at any other.
Let's take a glance. Tony
Horton.
I actually like him as a wide receiver. If we had a 5th round pick, I'd be down to take him.
I like Tyler Beatty.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant. I like Kobe Bryant from Kansas.
Gunnar Helm gives me the vibe of that guy that you get in the 5th round that ends up being like a
George
not
Kittle?
Necessarily like not that level, like a Hunter Hurst.
Hayden Hurst.
No, who am I thinking of? Patriots tight end. You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I'm picturing it right now.
I see his face. I see his face right now. It might be Hayden Hurst.
No, I thought Hayden Hurst was on the Falcons. Was just on the Falcons. Hunter
Henry. That's who I was thinking of.
That's who you're thinking.
Kind of like that level of tight end.
Yeah.
Like he's solid. Never pushes the needle into that like top 5.
Yeah.
But like makes a case where you could argue him. But
especially if we get back to running, if we get back to running that 11 personnel with Stefanski, two tight ends, 1 wide receiver, you know, it'd be crazy to have Travis Hunter be your 1, and then have Jaden Njoku, and then have Harold Fannin. Because Harold Fannin loves to run block, and Harold Fannin wants to play for the Browns.
Oh, dude, he would love it. I think he'd be great. The only thing that I would be kind of concerned with is right off the rip, I don't want people to want him to have such an impact where he takes over. You know?
Yes. No. Yeah, no. You don't need that. you don't need that out of your wide receiver immediately.
Yeah.
You don't need. I mean, out of your tight end
Taking
immediately.
Fannin?
Taking Fannin.
So we've took offense with their first 5 picks.
But listen. Again, everyone's been arguing with it. Now I think you can.
Okay,
But
if this is the board at the 6th round at 179, if we're still there, because there's going to be trades and people are moving around.
Yeah.
I would not mind double dipping at quarterback. Would not mind it at all.
It depends on who it is.
If these 3 quarterbacks that are on the screen right now, if they're there, I wouldn't mind Ewers, Gabriel, or Kyle McCord, just because they're all such different type guys. But we can pick up on this.
Who would it? I guess who would it be?
I wouldn't mind McCord, but we'll get back to the draft. But we do have another special guest coming in right now. He is the biggest time, the greatest producer and media personnel and media person in the world. It's Big Mike.
Woo!
What up?
How we doing?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
It is draft day. It is ritualistically a Cleveland Browns Super Bowl. Mike, I absolutely love your memes on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. The memes are amazing. The golf game, the golf advice is greatly appreciated, and you're an inspiration in the gym for us all. So I have some serious questions, Mike. Are you ready?
Dude, I am so ready to get this draft going. I feel like we've been talking about it since last October at this point with how bad we were last year.
100%.
We all have done all the mock drafts for months. I'm just ready to get this shit going. I'm so ready.
That's right.
I feel like even waiting around all day today is just gonna kill me,
Absolutely. I think I'm thinking in my head, I gotta do something else with my time, cut the grass or whatever. I feel good. I feel good. KFC, what do you feel? How do you feel?
I'm very hyped. Draft day's like Christmas in April for me. These past 3 years, not having a first round pick is really ate at me, and now we have it again. It's it's like when you're having Christmas dinner and you have that favorite dish you love at Christmas, and now you're getting it back. It's like your mama took a few years off of her best dessert she made, and now she's bringing it back to the table. One of them
I like
things.
it. You guys got me. I think my connection kind of screwed up. You guys got me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we hear you. So I want to know. I think obviously we hear some news already that Greg Newsome and Obo Okoronkwo are on the trade block for the Cleveland Browns, which I don't know if we're surprised about Greg Newsome, and but I think for Double O, I think that we are a little bit surprised, but at the same time, I don't know. I think Greg Newsome kind of knew that he was going to be potentially on the trade block. I mean, he's been making appearances in Cleveland everywhere. So it's like he's just trying to know he's a team player.
So sorry to cut you off. Yeah. Jordan Schultz just said, while still considering a long shot, multiple teams have contacted the Browns and the Giants about the possibility of moving up to 2 and 3 overall. Sources tell NFL on Fox. My understanding is that Cleveland is actually listening, and the calls have been legitimate, not just check-ins.
The Colts? Who are the Colts trying to get?
No, the calls have been legit.
The calls. Okay.
My accent kind of took over there for a second.
Oh no! You're fine. So well, okay. Well, would that be the case? Mike, would you want to trade out of number 2, or do you want to stay there? And if you want to stay there, who are you picking at number 2?
Oh, I think you cut out for a second.
Mike, I see you whispering. I see you whispering Travis Hunter, but it seems like you cut out. No, not yet.
Stand by.
Oh, there you go.
There
There you
you
go. There you go. We got you.
Yeah. Like I wanted Shador there for the longest time. I feel like they just need to stay there and take Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
It makes more sense if they're going to trade back into the first round for one of these quarterbacks, like we've been seeing.
Yeah.
Like for the longest time, it's felt like, the Browns trade down is going to I've seen people try to prepare the fan base for months. They're going to trade back. So I wouldn't say I would be shocked, but if it was me, I'm staying there and I'm taking Travis. I think Travis Hunter has that, star potential.
For sure.
And I would, you obviously trade down, you're going to miss him no matter what. Because he'll
For sure.
So you're going to take Travis.
So, Mike, got a question. So, you said talking about trading back up into the first round and getting a quarterback. Which quarterback do you want to see the Browns get more, Shador, or would you rather them get like a Milroe, Jackson Dart type quarterback?
I'm 100% sure it's the same draft that I can remember. So it's like I haven't been super Milroe and Dart. They have a lot of like traits that I do like, but you know how it is. Like teams need quarterbacks; they're going to overdraft these quarterbacks. I feel like we're going to trade that first round. They got really like a second, third round talent.
Yeah.
And is he really going to be the guy?
Yeah. See, I would love to pair Travis and Shador again in Cleveland. Don't know where the Browns actually stand on that because there's been so much talk that they've been interested in Jackson Dart, Shador, Milroe. Like, there's not been like a clear cut favorite on who they like.
I'm still on it. The Wi-Fi is killing it.
Oh, can you hear me? You good? But yeah, I think.
I think the Wi-Fi. Yeah, I think the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
There you go. You're taking time.
But
there we go. But
yeah, sorry, the Wi-Fi here where I'm working kind of in and out. So.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, so where are you at?
So where are you at right now, Mike?
Mike?
Oh, he might not be over here. But because I was out for a second there. So Mike said he would rather have Shador Sanders over Jalen Milroe, correct? Because I'm thinking, I'm trying to. I'm thinking in my head. I wonder. Yeah. We got you now. I'm wondering because of offensive fit, that Tommy Reese connection is big there. That Tommy Reese connection is a little too large for me to overlook. Personally, so
I don't remember if you remember me saying this last year when we hired him, but I said that I think he's going to be the next like guru for offense that got hired, and we wouldn't keep him for that long. And bringing him in as OC, I was really excited about, which I don't know. Depending on how the season goes, he could be a head coach here in a few years, which I think he's going to be a great. I think he's going to be a great OC. But the Milroe, go back and watch the 23 season. There's going to be a lot of sacks in it, but there is an offensive line coach that is god awful. That was at Alabama 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like he's god awful. Like he's been at Kentucky twice in both years he's been in Kentucky. Offensive line's been atrocious. And like last year, it was the same coach, and we had the worst offensive line rating, like probably ever. But I think that connection there is going to be big for the Browns.
I think it's going to be huge for the Browns. And truthfully, I would not mind, even based off that mock that we just did with Travis Hunter going number 2, and then you have that Jalen Milroe connection number 33. I wouldn't mind the possibility of having those 4 picks go to offense, have Joe Flacco be your week 1 starter, see if you can get him under center and get the ball moving. And truthfully, Joe Flacco is the kind of guy out there who not only are you making the fans happy, but I think that you still can win some potential football games. You're going to have him throw the football around. He's going to throw the ball 30 times a game. So you can really see where your deficiencies are at. And if it's actually at quarterback, 100%, and you need it, then that's what you're going to focus all of your attention on the next draft and do whatever you possibly can to get something out. But also, and I'm saying this right now, I don't have any information, but do not give up on Kirk Cousins. I'm telling you right now, Kirk Cousins to Cleveland, it's not over. It is not over. Wait till how the draft shakes out. Mike, do we got your back?
Yo, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So, man, you just said that the Kirk Cousins dream is not dead in Cleveland. What do you think about that?
It's not dead.
Give up the Kirk Cousins dream, bro. It's over. It was never even a thing, man.
It's a thing.
No, bro. No. Give me Tyler Shuck over Kirk Cousins.
Oh
no! Come on! You got this.
That on this pod.
Yeah. But Mike's like, listen, I don't want to be on the record for saying that. So we'll tweet it out. We'll tweet it out quick. But I really believe that Kirk Cousins will waive the no trade clause if he sees Cleveland not going quarterback at number 2. I think if he waives that no trade clause, I think that now you put Atlanta Falcons in play after the draft. I think the Atlanta Falcons will give up a few more of that money to make it less for us. That's why it was so appealing when it was the vet minimum. But you can bring him in here, and I know you already have Joe Flacco, but at the same time, I'm like, hey, then you ship Kenny Pickett.
So if we trade for Kirk Cousins, there's going to be a fight between him and Joe Flacco. But it's not going to be about like who's going to be the quarterback. It's going to be over pudding cups that they're lining up to go to the retirement home.
That's Joe Flacco. Listen, Kirko is 37 years young. Okay, Kirko ain't that old.
That's old, bro. Bro, we're gonna have a 40-year-old and a 37-year-old. How are we supposed to be building for the future and winning Super Bowls with a 205-year-old quarterbacks?
You know what, Mike? You know what, Mike? Can I ask you a question? Because there's another. I've seen your rhetoric on Twitter, and I have another question for you. So Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders at 2. Why don't you like Abdul Carter at 2 for the Cleveland Browns? Oh, can you hear us, Mike?
Yo.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you now. We can hear you now. We got you now.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're totally fine. So did you hear the question that I asked you, or I could ask it again? Oh no, yeah. So why do you like Abdul Carter? Why don't you like Abdul Carter number 2 overall to the Browns?
I just don't think that it's going to take us from 3 wins to 5. I mean, I think he's great. I think him and Miles Garrett together would be, it's obviously scary. If we didn't have these other
yes, it is.
The worst. It's terrifying, but I think he's going to go somewhere and get 15 sacks his rookie year probably. It's not that I don't think he's good. I just don't think he fits the needs that we have.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I would get more excited about Travis Hunter, but has to play offense. He can be he's not a weapon to me like Travis Hunter is.
Yeah. I wonder. I wonder if what if Travis Hunter, man, is David Bell on offense and Greedy Williams on defense? I'm gonna be so mad, Mike. I'm gonna be livid.
He's not David Bell on offense.
Livid. I'm going to be livid if this man is going to be David Bell, and we're going to say, oh, because he can play both sides of the ball, and he's athletic, and he likes fishing like Joe Thomas, we should draft him number 2 overall.
Okay, do you remember when the Jacksonville Jaguars had Blake Bortles?
I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong about that.
So do I. If we're picking him number 2 overall, I hope.
Yeah.
Mike, do you like my jersey, Mike?
I mean, what is it? Hold on. Oh my God.
Hold up, I got a better one for you.
But what were you saying, Mike? You were saying what?
Carter jersey on.
Oh yeah.
I was
Early.
saying that. Yeah. It's it's one of those things where. And can you hear me or no?
Yeah. We can hear you.
Okay, cool. It's I think another draft year, taking Abdul Carter would I'd be all for it. But with how bad our offense was last year, we have to get either a we really need a quarterback, but Travis Hunter gives me that excitement for having a weapon on offense and a guy you can have defensive advantages. Abdul Carter just feel like you can't have the worst offense in the league last year than take a defensive player with your first year.
That's true. It's that one-liner right there that always gets me that I never have an argument back for. It's like you can't be the worst offense last year and then take a defensive player at the first pick. But the problem is the defensive player is better than anything we've seen in this draft. And I'm like, did we really bring Journey in here to bring in a two-way player? Don't stop believing, and you're bringing in a two-way player who I don't listen. If I'm a season ticket holder, which I'm not because I live in Philly and I can't go to Cleveland as much as I'd like to, but I don't know. Maybe Travis Hunter excites. Does Travis Hunter excite you more than Abdul Carter? This is a question for you, KFC, and Mike.
Oh, no, not really. I think the aura that Travis Hunter has, going into college, even number 1 recruit in the nation, had a huge name, goes to Jackson State, insane pull for Jackson State because they had Dion. He goes there, flourishes, looks amazing. They go to Colorado, they look even better that next year, and they dominate. And Travis Hunter's just constantly been that guy, both sides of the ball, just been amazing. And from high school, dominated. Go watch some of the catches he makes, man. He just goes up, gets the ball, and nothing gets your team more hyped than just insane catches. Honestly, the way he contorts his body and makes some of these catches, Manny, I think this is actually going to get you hopped up because he's one of your favorite receivers ever. Kind of makes me remember that rookie second year of Odell Beckham.
Oh, I knew you were going to say it. You just used his name in vain. Saying OBJ is insane. And if you give me OBJ, fine. But I'm telling you right now, it's David Bell, number 2 overall that you're drafting, and you're drafting Greedy Williams. If you like that at number 2 overall.
You're trying to degrade Travis Hunter, who's arguably the best prospect we've seen that's been playing both sides of the ball, who's got the most chance to ever do this.
You know what?
You're trying to downgrade Travis Hunter, and I don't like it because you're trying to push your agenda with your guy that's going to be on IR for 6 weeks. I don't want to.
You know what? Go ahead, Mike. You wanted to say something. That's why, I'm starting to understand the guests. You brought really good guests on here who love Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter to try to work me into a shoot, and it won't work. I knew it. I knew it. Go ahead, Mike.
Benny, your coat.
I'm sorry. I'm done. I am, and my mic just fell. I can't even. I'm losing it. I'm losing everything right now. I'm telling you.
Abdul Carter's leg.
Tough scene.
Jeez Louise. Last question for you, Mike, before we let you go. But so if it's Travis Hunter at number 2 overall, would you like us to go to? There's a 2-parter. Would you like us to see us do a double dip at quarterback, drafting 2 quarterbacks in this draft, Or, and the other question is, what would be the next 2 picks if it's Travis Hunter? Would it be running back and tackle, or would it be quarterback? Or what do you mind the double dip at quarterback?
I think RG3 Kirk Cousins thing, this is the type of class where you could get a guy in the 4th, 5th round, 3rd, whatever. I don't hate the double dipping. I was more for that if they were taking singers too, and they could take Kyle McCord, Will Howard, and Dylan Gabriel in the later round. I'm more in the thought process of just taking probably one guy. The only way that I feel like that they should take 2 is if they do trade back into the 1st round and you're sitting at pick 179 and you want to snag another quarterback. I think their first 3 picks are going to be Travis Hunter, some quarterback, Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart, hopefully Sugar Sanders somehow. And then at that point, it's like, been listening to week's round Staley. I can agree. Weapons. Get you one of the tight ends, the Gunnar Hell, Mason Taylor, Harold Fannin, one of the Ohio State running backs. Running back class is great. I just feel like the first 3 picks need to be offense weapons. To see, I don't want to see, I don't even want to see a defensive player till the back half of the draft. That's just me.
I get
that. I like it. I understand it. And I also understand the thought process of double dipping if Shedeur Sanders was chosen high. I get that, because then you can get somebody later on. And honestly, it wouldn't hurt. And I don't think Shedeur should be offended, especially if he was drafted to Cleveland. He's got to understand, hey, we need a quarterback, so we're going to double dip. You got to do what you got to do. Right? Story of our lives. It's going to be amazing when we have a quarterback that's here for more than a decade. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Any final questions, KFC?
I think he nailed it.
Sweet. Mike, thank you so much for stopping by. Emmy winner, Mike, also a golfer. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. Fantastic content. Oh no, we can hear you. Fantastic content. Follow him at big_Mike9169. Make sure you follow him and give him a shout out. Thank you so much for stopping by, Mike. We really appreciate you. Yeah, maybe I should write it down.
Check.
Oh yeah, we can hear you now.
You guys got me?
We got you now.
I didn't hear any of it.
Redo it, man.
Listen, the go, Big Mike.
Tweet it all out, right?
Yeah, we're gonna tweet it. Put it all in a paragraph with a bunch of characters and say thank you so much for stopping by. Hey, Mike, have a great one. Have a great draft and enjoy the draft. All right. I think we lost him again.
All right. I'm back. I don't know what y'all said. Thanks for having me, though. I'm sure it was a bunch of nice things. Sorry about the shitty Wi-Fi. I'm down.
No, you're good.
In some studio. So, but yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Looking forward to this.
Absolutely. Everybody follow Big Mike. Sounds good.
See you guys.
See you.
Later.
That's funny. That's awesome. So again, I mean, technical difficulties. You gotta roll with the punches. I'm so glad that we have having our guests in here. Listen, I completely understand the Shedeur Sanders double dipping. I get that. I don't have any problems with that. And in fact, I really get that. But I just don't want to be throwing out picks.
I think you've bought in just since we've done this live. Like, you've just been like, all right, if we get Shedeur later in the first, I'm cool with it. I think just since this live.
Listen, I more than anything, 90% of me, if you get Shedeur Sanders, you better be getting him in the 3rd round. And if he ain't in there in the 3rd round, then you don't need to get him. Because I truly believe if you're not going to get him at number 2 overall, then that's not your guy. You clearly don't love him enough. You clearly don't love him enough because he won't be there at 33. Unlike Jalen Milroe, who's going to be there at 33, you can fall in love with your options who are going to be there later, and those are the guys you have to focus on. But that's not this is a situation that we're in right now where we can't do that, unfortunately. I truly go ahead. What are you going to say?
I just think the position that the draft is, the way it's laid out, and when you have a generational talent like Travis Hunter, there you got to take him. But our very next guest is here, waiting in the queue. He is the greatest and most influential media and NFL video personality in the world. We have Mike Resnick in here with us tonight. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Guys? Good. Appreciate you having me on here.
Mike, how we doing?
Oh, I'm so pumped, man. Best day of the year right here.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We got a Jim Brown jersey on?
Yes, sir.
Woo! Are you ready to talk some draft?
Oh, dude, that's all I want to do. Let's get going.
Listen, there is the old Tim Couch. I already got. Listen, I want you to see something, Mike. Abdul Carter jersey, pre-order number 11, got the sticks. It's Stick City, Mike. All right, you know what? I can't wait to tear this apart. But go ahead. You know what? I'll let KFC be professional before I ask Mike some hard-hitting questions. Go ahead, KFC. You can go first.
So, Mike, who do you think is going to be the pick at number 2?
Travis Hunter, dude, always. Yep, Travis Hunter, man. It's got to be generational talent right there.
That's fact.
Let me just cut you off right there, Mike. So what is it? Shout out to Eddie. What is it, Mike, that you can tell people that are listening right now? I want to know, why Travis Hunter over Abdul Carter? What happens if Travis Hunter is David Bell on offense and Greedy Williams on defense, Mike? What am I going to do then?
I mean, I don't see that happening. He's a way better receiver than Bell. He's a way better corner than Greedy ever was. I like Abdul Carter. I just feel like our edge room is pretty deep, and we got way bigger holes than edge. We just paid Miles that huge contract. We brought in Joe Tryon. We got Obo. I hear the trade rumors there, but we even got Isaiah McGuire. I really like Isaiah McGuire. Hasn't got a lot of looks yet. And even Alex Wright. I think our edge room is pretty good. And I also don't think Abdul Carter fits our defensive scheme. To me, he's more of a 3-4 outside linebacker, and we run 4-3. So you could play him anywhere. He could play middle linebacker. You can box safety him, but I just feel like we got way bigger holes than edge rusher.
I've heard that before I talk about that the Abdul Carter slander. I have heard about the Obo trade rumors, the Greg Newsome trade rumors. What do you think about those? You think they get dealt tonight?
I mean, potentially. I could say more day 2 than tonight. I like both those guys. I think they're both really good contributors. Greg Newsome has been in the trade market the last couple of years here. But I think if you keep him and you have I look at Travis Hunter as mainly a receiver, but you're going to play Travis on defense in certain situations. And if you have Denzel Ward, Travis Hunter, Greg Newsome, Martin Emerson at DB against Joe Burrow and these high-powered offenses, I just think that's too good to pass by.
I think it's interesting because when I'm looking at Travis Hunter, I saw somebody in the comments said Travis Hunter is a unicorn. Listen, I don't have a problem with Travis Hunter being a unicorn. I really don't. But you're telling me in the AFC North when it gets cold, and Mike, it gets cold in Cleveland, Mike. It gets cold. So you're telling 6 foot even, 185 soaking wet to go out there and guard DK Metcalf or George Pickens, then go on defense and try to go up against Joey Porter Jr., Mike? I don't know. In the cold?
I mean, he's playing in Colorado. It gets pretty cold there, too. So.
Yeah.
You got listen. You got me there.
Let's be real. For his rookie year, cornerback ones will be covering Jerry Jeudy. Let's not forget we got him on the roster. Jerry Judy's going to be wide receiver 1 next year.
And big fan.
Until he's
okay.
Until Travis proves that he's wide receiver 1, he's going to be obviously number 2. And I think he's going to become that wide receiver 1, but I'm not going to put that pressure on him as a rookie. Like I'm fine with being patient with kids, So So
Okay, so Mike. Okay, so this is a question for Mike and for KFC. This is for both of you because I actually haven't asked anybody this question yet. Do you? So obviously Andrew Berry feels that Travis Hunter is more of a wide receiver than a corner. What kind of volume would you want for Travis Hunter? Are we talking about playing every series or every drive on offense as a wide receiver, and then playing every other series on defense at corner, or only on third downs in corner? Like what is some of the volume that you see for? I'll let Mike go, and then KFC, you can go after Mike.
Yeah, I see full-time wide receiver. On defense, I see him playing third down, pass situations, red zone, end of game, 2-minute drill kind of thing. Just when you kind of know they're throwing the ball and you need that extra DB out on the field, I think that's the right formula right there.
KFC, what do you think?
I agree. Every word that Mike just said. Just times it by 2.
Just times it by 12 jersey number. But I'm just pick number 2. Oh, yeah, it's 12 at 2. Now it's 12 at 2. Listen, and another question I have. Everybody, it seems, Mike, was so high on Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders this. 2 at 2. Shedeur at the shore. I've seen it on I've seen everything when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. Now, all of a sudden, surprise, surprise, Shedeur Sanders is not there, number 2, and not in the mix, and then everybody jumps on the Travis Hunter board. Why should I not claim, everybody who loves Travis Hunter, that you just love the second best option, and you shouldn't take second best at number 2 overall? What do I have to say about those people who wanted Shedeur Sanders and now jump ship? What do I say to those people, Mike?
Not gonna lie, I was on the Shedeur train early on.
Perfect.
But I still am. I just don't want him at 2. I would love to trade back up in round 1 and grab him right in front of the Steelers or something. That to me is ideal.
What would you give up, Mike, to jump back into like 19-20 range? Because Steelers picked 21. What would you give to Denver or give to Atlanta at 16?
Like 33, maybe a future third. I don't know how much it's going to cost to move up to 20 or 19, but I mean, I'm all on that train, man. I give up
for Shedeur
too much, but
so do you think
for bubble screen Sanders?
See, Manny's just a hater. He goes off of what people say on Twitter. He doesn't.
I made a bubble screen Sanders. 21.7% of his passes in the flat, KFC. In the flat, throwing checkdowns. 6 yards away. What? That's me.
Hey, guess what? Bubble screens, slot, just in routes, deep balls. It don't matter. If they get yards, it gets yards. If it scores points, it scores points. That's how I look at it.
In that thin Colorado air, Mike, I can go over to Colorado and throw a 50-yard ball.
Tom Brady
in that thin air.
7 Super Bowls off of checkdowns and short-range passes.
Shedeur Sanders is not Tom Brady, KFC, and you know that. That's the nastiest word that I've heard on this podcast.
I did not compare them. I just stated a fact. Go watch most of his tape. A lot of his yards came from checkdowns.
You know what? I want to talk to Mike. Mike, if you take Travis Hunter, Mike. Yeah, I got a question for you. If you take Travis Hunter, number 2 overall, what are you doing with the other 33? Because we've heard from another Mike that just left, Big Mike. And if you have 33, obviously you have 67 and 94. Would you be okay with double dipping at quarterback later on in the draft? And who are the 2 quarterbacks, if you were to double dip, who are the 2 quarterbacks that you kind of have your eye on, not named Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, obviously? Yeah,
so obviously – the Jalen Milroe hype is there a little bit. I like him. I think he needs a year or 2 though on the bench to learn. He's great with the ball in his hands. He's a great runner. He's got the arm. I just think he needs some work on his intermediate throws and stuff like that. So I could very well see that going on, or like a Jackson Dart at 33. And then later in the draft, someone like I'm a Will Howard guy. I'm an Ohio State guy, but there hasn't been much connections there. But a guy like Curtis Rourke or Dylan Gabriel a little later in the draft as well, I would not be opposed to that as well.
Dylan Gabriel, I like Dylan Gabriel. The left, I don't know how much I buy into the fact that because he's a left-handed quarterback, you got to flip your whole offense. I don't know if I buy into that. I know he's a little shorter, but hey, I was a big Baker bro back in the day. I don't mind short quarterbacks. I don't mind a little 5'11", little 6 foot. I don't mind it. I really don't. Speaking of Ohio State, Mike, would you rather have Quinshon Judkins or Travion Henderson as a running back if we had to choose between the two?
I love them both. I think they're both going to be dogs in the league. At 33, I think you got to lean Travion. I think he's going to go a little higher. And then I would take Quinshon at 67. I don't think he's going to be there at 67. You might have to trade up a little bit to get him, but I would love either of those guys.
So Mike, the more and more I've kind of studied out the draft, one thing that I've kind of had a feel is that we're going to have 3 running backs took in the first round. I mean, obviously you're going to have Genty. I think Hampton's going to be picked in the top 15, but I also feel like Travion Henderson's going to get picked in that 20 to 25 range. Would you agree with that?
I could definitely see that. I don't think that's a sure thing, but I could see a team sneaking in and grabbing him too. His talent's unreal. To me, he might be. I mean, Genty's a Genty, man, but he's a Travion's pass pro. He's a 3-down back. He's got it all. He's a pass catcher. He can run it. I really like that him and Judd can split carries, and he doesn't have the tread on the tires like some of these other guys have. So I think that's a little beneficial as well.
Yeah, that's the only thing that kind of scares me. Like, I know we're not going to take Genty, but if we were in that like ballpark range to get Genty, like that would be the only thing that would scare me a little bit is how many carries he did have at Boise State. But also, Mike, who is one guy that's been like a consensus, like top 10, top 15 guy that you could see sliding into that like round 2 area?
A guy like Walter Nolan, or just he's got some off-field concerns. He's really good though. Even like I'm a big Mike Green guy too, or James Pierce. These guys just have some off-the-field concerns. So I feel like teams take that into account a lot, and that could be the reason that they slip a little bit.
Agree.
Okay, we're gonna say go ahead, KFC. You just make say a comment.
Oh, I was just agreeing. I thought about it and I was like, yeah, I could see those 3 guys kind of possibly sliding a little bit.
What pick would surprise you and why at number 2 overall? Is there some, because obviously can we all agree that the options predominantly are Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, or trade down? Right.
I would agree.
Okay. So would there be and Sugar Sanders, I guess, potentially, but would there be an option, like what name would, if it slides across your screen, you see them walking across the stage or in their living room, what name would you be like, wait, what? Like what's in the top 10 that you didn't think the Browns would do it too? What name would you think is crazy? And this is for both of you, Mike and KFC. And KFC can go first.
Oh, if we took Will Campbell, I would be like, just what? I mean, because we do have that tackle need. I love DeJuan Jones. The injuries, they're kind of stacking up now.
Knee surgery.
Yeah, and so how he comes back this year will say a lot. And just to have an option at tackle, which I think we end up taking a tackle within our first 3 or 4 picks. But if we saw Will Campbell drafted at 2, I wouldn't throw my TV remote through the TV, but I'd probably hit the couch being like, what are we doing? You know, kind of like that.
No, I totally feel for a tackle, like I would feel that same way.
Had we had the quarterback, had we had a wide receiver, like not had his, I would be all right with Will Campbell there. I think he's going to be a good talent. How long he's actually at tackle, we'll see. I think he'll end up sliding inside just because of his reach, because defensive edges will take advantage of his reach. So we'll see how long and how he adjusts to the NFL with his reach. But like a guy like that would I would probably just go off if we picked Will Campbell.
That's kind of who I was thinking too, not gonna lie.
Twitter would burn. Twitter would burn. Twitter would burn.
Because
I like
one like random old guy that would be like, I told you guys,
I told you. He has receipts. He has receipts.
Yeah.
His profile pictures Will Campbell, LSU. We're all saying short arms, Will Campbell.
T-Rex.
But does he T-Rex arms? He's like, no one's ever talked about my arms this entire time. They'll pick you apart before draft season. They'll find something wrong with you. So two things. And this is a question again. I have two more questions. This is for both of you guys. Both of them. I'm sorry. I'm full with questions. What do you make of all the Shedeur Sanders sliding? Why is Shedeur Sanders sliding all of a sudden? Are people coming to their senses, Mike? Like, are people trying to just slander his name so that they fall to his team? This is some of the craziest sliding that we've seen. He was supposed to be a top 2 pick and a top 3 pick, and now he's talking about being picked at 21 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you think about that, Mike?
I do think it's a little bit of slander. I think he gets a lot of hate that he doesn't deserve. I do agree. Early on, I was on the train, like I said, but I don't think he's quite worthy of the number 2 pick, but I do think he's a first-round pick. So him slide into the 20s, 15 range is not that surprising for me. But, I mean, I still think he's got the talent, and I really like his moxie and swagger, and I just think he's kind of like a culture changer. So I just think I'm cool with him if we come back up for him. But I can see why people don't like him. He's kind of got that way to him and stuff, but personally, I think that's kind of what Cleveland needs. So I think we need someone like that to come in here and just bring some aura and just some other things that we're lacking right now. So
yeah. See, I feel like Shedeur is not. He's not Baker Mayfield. They have different play styles, but the moxie has a lot of the same characteristics. Shedeur doesn't have the DUI on him, so that's a plus. But he does have the last name, so that's the minus. So I would say that would probably equal out. But I feel like they have that same kind, like you said, the moxie is like he has that for him, and we do need that at the quarterback position. You need somebody that is fiery. That's when a big play happens, he's going to go off. He's going to have the stuff. He's going to be flexing his wrist up, stuff like that. Like gets the fans going, gets them bought in, gets the crowds louder. And the only thing I don't like about that is every time we have a bad game, every time there's a loss, an ugly loss, it's, oh, Deion's coming. Just wait. That's the only thing that kind of turns me off on Shedeur is every time Stefanski dials up a bad game or the Browns play bad, they're going to be knocking at the door, being like, Deion's coming to Cleveland. He's coming. Just wait. Like stuff like that. But I wouldn't mind.
That's Shedeur. I want to know, too, because obviously to me, and I troll bubble screen Sanders all the time. I really do. Nothing brings me more pleasure than to talk down on Shedeur Sanders. But I will say, though, he is prepared for the NFL. He's been in the limelight for a very, very long time. It's kind of a little bit that, obviously, it's kind of a little bit that LeBron James, Bronny James, and Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders. Like your dad has been in the limelight the entire time, so you're just kind of used to that. But playing at schools like Jackson State in Colorado and moving the ball around, staying strong in the pocket, holding yourself, but still having that aura to you is very appealing. It's very appealing. Don't get me wrong. So I wouldn't hate it completely if it was later on in the draft, but the problem is he won't be there later on in the draft. So, if it was tomorrow, it'd be a different scenario, but Shedeur's going somewhere tonight. We just don't know where. So then my last question is, and then KFC, you can take over. This is a new question too, KFC, so I just thought of this in my head. If Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski hit on Travis Hunter and 33 overall and 67 overall, if they hit on their top 3 picks, and Travis Hunter is a rookie of the year, and he's doing really well, that's what I mean by like hit on him or something, But they go 5-12 or 6-11. Are they fired next year? KFC first, and then Mike.
Did we draft a quarterback in those 3 picks in this hop?
We drafted Jalen Milroe, 33 overall, but he did not play. Joe Flacco played the full season. Jalen Milroe just sat. So you don't know what you got in Jalen Milroe.
I think
Or
you give
Jackson
him one
Dart.
more year. It's like one more year short leash. Very
One
short
more year
leash.
short
like,
leash.
Like
You better
if
be
you start
above
out-
500.
Like if you start at 0-3, you're gone by week 4. One of them top short leashes.
A mid-season firing.
Yeah.
Interesting. And I'm just writing down your answer because I'm curious because I just thought about that question. Mike, what do you think about it? They hit now. They hit. So you can't say Andrew Berry can't draft. Kevin Stefanski can't draft. They hit, but they go 5-12, 6-11. What do you think the leash looks like?
I do think they get one more year. If they hit early on and just show a little bit of promise and hope for the city, I think that'll do a little bit. Knowing, especially if you get a guy like Jalen Milroe who needs a year or two on the bench, and he's got that connection with Tommy Reese. I just don't see them just bagging it all right away. I think they get another year, maybe 2, just to see where it goes. I think the big thing is just bringing hope and promise with these first couple picks and knowing that we got a couple of guys on the roster now that can show some hope for the future and stuff like that. So I think you got another year at least.
Yeah, especially I feel like if you're, and obviously we don't really have names to those picks, but if I had to throw them out there, if you have a Travis Hunter, Jalen Milroe, but he sits, so you have hope with Jalen Milroe, and then at 67, you get yourself a Quinshon Judkins, a Caleb Johnson running back from Iowa, a Travion Henderson, even a Cam Scatterbo, and then you kind of like see those running backs turn into an RB1, and then Nick Chubb is a really good balancing act there. Sorry to say that, but it hurts my soul about Nick Chubb as well. But again, I hate to say this. I kind of like that he doesn't have a market out there because now we get to bring him back and we get to bring him back for potentially cheap, which I truly believe that Nick Chubb is going to be in a Cleveland Browns uniform. They're just waiting to see how the draft falls. That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in it. He'll be in a Browns uniform, in my opinion, by the end of next week.
I agree.
I like that. I hope he's back. I love Nick Chubb. I think he needs to lose. I don't know how his workout regimen looks and if he's dropped weight or not. But I'm not going to say he looked heavy, but I think with the injury, he needs to shed about 10 pounds, get a little bit lighter so he can get a little bit quicker.
lighter.
He looks slow. I mean, a lot of that is that knee injury. It's hard to come back from that stuff, especially coming back from it twice in the same leg.
Yes. Yes.
So I love Nick Chubb. I want him to succeed. But I think if we can get like a 1-2 punch, like a Travion Henderson, if he's there at 33, or if there's if the Browns can somehow just mastermind a trade up and not have to give up 33, and you can get Travis Hunter, get a Shedeur Sanders or a Jalen Milroe, and then keep 33, and then you can get a guy like that or a Judkins or somebody like that at 33. I think that would be awesome because you could duo Travion / Caleb Johnson, somebody like that with Nick Chubb, have that powerhouse running back room. There's nothing more that makes me excited than having a deep running back room, kind of like the old days. I wasn't alive, but I love watching the documentaries, hearing about Kevin Mack and Ernest Bonner, and then bringing in like Eric Metcalf. And then you go before that, you had a deep running back room with Greg Pruitt, Mike Pruitt, and then they had Cleo Miller in there in the mix, like stuff like that. Like I want a deep running back room where we can throw 3 backs out there and they just terrify defenses. So,
absolutely, I think for this division too, you're looking at it like Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, Joe Burrow. I think you're going to need eventually that quarterback. You're gonna need your franchise quarterback, and even if the AFC didn't look like the AFC, you're still gonna need a good quarterback. We saw that with the Washington Commanders last year. But I think that especially in this conference, with Patrick Mahomes still going to be there for a very long time. Joe Burrow, same deal. Lamar Jackson, maybe, I don't know, depending on how his playoff record goes. But he still might be there 3-4 seasons. Josh Allen, obviously. The upcoming of C.J. Stroud. And we don't know what we still have with Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence. So these are really good quarterbacks in this conference. With Bo Nix, obviously, too, with Sean Payton. So you're going to need your quarterback. Eventually, you are going to need that, but it's it's just not here. It's just not here in this draft, in my opinion. You're going to have to wait till next year. That is definitely a Lombardi trophy. That is definitely a Lombardi trophy. We're going to get one of these when we draft Abdul Carter. But if we pass on Travis Hunter, you can see this disappear just like that, just off to the
So if
side.
we pass on Travis Hunter, it's going to disappear? I agree.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah. That's what I said. I'm saying you're not going to get this if you. Oh no! If you draft Travis Hunter. I'm saying if you draft Travis Hunter, you can say kiss this goodbye. You can kiss this goodbye. But if you draft Abdul Carter,
hear me out, Manny. Hear me out. So let's
don't be a fool. Draft Abdul.
Let me just give you this hypothetical. So next year we get like another top 5 pick, and then there's another Abdul Carter because Penn State apparently has a cloning machine of Micah Parsons over there. And there's
Lamar Arrington Jr.
Exactly.
But he can't come out.
Oh,
he's a freshman. He can't come out. So, but I understand your point. I understand your point. Listen, if it's next year and you have a top 5 pick, which let's be real, okay? We say we had the worst offense in football last year, but we're all fans and we all watched every Browns game last season. We know we had the worst offense because we had injuries all over the place. Safari Cooper was dropping the ball and forgot how to catch, and we fleeced them for Buffalo. Deshaun Watson doesn't know how to play football anymore. Jameis Winston throws 5 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. It was fantastic in Denver. Great. Our offense is all over the place. And then we put through DTR out there the last 3 weeks of the season.
Your quarterback.
My quarterback from UCLA, which I UCLA legend. I love him. He's now near me in Philadelphia in this great city. So shout out to DTR. But look, listen. Our offense was horrible, but it's not like it was straight up like all the starters were out there every game playing to their best of their ability, and we were still trash. That's a dangerous situation. That's the New York Giants. The New York Giants are trash because they played everybody that they had, and they were garbage. Tennessee Titans, that's their fault. They played Will Levis. They played Mason Rudolph.
I think our offense is going to improve. I mean, I think Tommy Rees is a massive upgrade over Ken Dorsey. And going back to that 12 personnel offense that Kevin Stefanski likes to run, I think that's going to help us out just because our personnel fits that, because our offensive line is a big run offensive line. And you throw DeJuan Jones on that left side, I think we'll be humming. Not necessarily like Super Bowl, Super Browns type humming, but like better than 3-14 type humming. I just think when you have an offense that is lacking in receivers, when right now your wide receiver 2 would be Cedric Tillman. Listen, I love the upside in Tillman, but I don't think he's there yet. It's kind of like I think we're trying to push another DPJ type situation. We want somebody to be the wide receiver 2 so bad that we drafted, but I don't think he's there yet. I think he has potential to get there. I think he just needs to stay healthy. I think that's the biggest part right now. But getting a guy like Travis Hunter to put in there and have Cedric Tillman be able to ball out as a wide receiver 3, and you can put Jerry Jeudy in the slot, have Travis Hunter outside, put Tillman on that other side. Why not make it easier for your quarterback to succeed? Manny, listen. You used to be a huge wide receiver guy. You get the best wide receiver in the draft here.
But we don't even know what Travis Hunter. Mike, who is Travis Hunter to you? Who is Travis Hunter? We don't even really know as a receiver. We don't know. Is he Scary Terry? Is he Terry McLaurin? Or is he David Bell?
I don't see him as a David Bell. I really don't. I see him more as like you guys said it earlier, like OBJ, Tyreek Hill type electricity with him. With the ball in his hand, man. He's so good with the ball in his hands, and he snatches balls that shouldn't be caught. He ain't gonna be a David Bell.
I need him like this. I need him. he better be running right. His routes better be crispy, boy. I tell you something right now.
I will say, you let him focus as a wide receiver early on, his routes are going to be way better than playing DB all the time and stuff. And you don't have 70 snaps on defense. He's not going to be as tired. Like, I just think you truly give him a wide receiver coach, put him in the wide receiver room permanently, he's going to get much better. And he's already the top guy, I think, in this draft. So I just think the upside is through the roof.
That is true. That is very true, because I'm looking at the Luther Burdens from Missouri. I'm looking at the team at the Tetterola McMillans from Arizona. I like Travis Hunter as a wide receiver more than I like them as a wide receiver. I'm just concerned. Does that say much? Does that mean, you know what I'm trying to say to you? Like, does that mean much? Because I don't know if Tetterola McMillan can even create separation because he's so slow. He's a big wide receiver, he's a big target. And Luther Burden, I'm not sure what I have. I know he's a very good wide receiver, but like tangibly, what is Luther Burden? So
Luther
it's
Burden, I wouldn't be shocked if that dude's top 10 receiver in like 5 years.
Then why the heck don't I just take him 2 overall? Why the heck are you telling me on Travis Hunter? You just indicted yourself.
I think
You just indicted yourself.
Wide receiver in the league. Ain't a top 5.
Better than Justin Jefferson? Mike, come get KFC right now. But what?
I said could. I think there's a lot
he could
of
be a
upside with
top
Luther
five
Burden.
What did you say, Mike?
I think he could be a top 5, top 10 guy for sure, especially if he's majoring in the receiver room. I like Luther Burden, but I think you kind of need a scheme to get Luther Burden the ball a little bit more than Travis.
Yeah.
He's just a natural ball guy, man. He's got it all.
See, I think Luther Burden, I watched him. He didn't cook Maxwell Harrison when I went and watched him, but he ate against Kentucky when he'd flip-flop on sides. But Luther Burden's a dog, and I think should be in the first round. The reason he's slipping is, I think it's his attitude, ain't it? I think that's the biggest part. I think he's just got
people
a bad
were concerned
attitude.
about it, that too, yes. Mm-hmm. People were concerned about his off the field.
Travis Hunter and Quinn Ewers were supposed to be the top 3 picks coming into the year.
But then we saw the fall off of Quinn Ewers. Mike, and then last question from me, Mike. Does Travis Hunter playing in and Shedeur Sanders, because I know you are a disciple of Shedeur as well. If Shedeur Sanders, does that not concern you that they played in the nasty little Big 12 down there versus Kansas State Jayhawks and the Oklahoma State Cowboys? Does that not concern you that they were tearing up those teams? And
I mean, it's definitely something to consider, but I feel like those 2 dudes could have went to any school in the country and still played pretty well. Like, if he was at Ohio State, for example, like, man, that would have been crazy. Like, I like Will Howard, but, like, don't get me wrong, but just the upside, I think, is a little higher with Shedeur. They could have went – imagine if he's on Bama or LSU. Like, you wouldn't even be having this conversation. And I still think they would have performed.
Does Shedeur on Ohio State win the national championship and go undefeated?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, they definitely win it all. You might lose a game in the way. I mean, we lost the game, so it doesn't matter. But
that's what I'm saying. Would you beat Michigan with Shedeur?
I sure hope so, man. I think so. I think Will Howard did get a little banged up in that game too, which didn't help. But I do think so. I think Shedeur's ceiling's a little higher, and I really like just his mindset. I like Will Howard's mindset too, but just growing up in the game with Deion and just living in football, I really like that as part of the player prospect. I think that's something that people take for granted a little bit. He's born in the game, man.
You did a good job, Mike. You answered my tough questions. You went through the gauntlet. You're a good football mind. I appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
KFC, do you think
it's not the gauntlet? It's your delusion. That's what that is.
It's the Delulu.
You're trying to get people on your train, but it's a 2-passenger Fiat or something.
Now, listen. I'm telling you right now. This is a stretch limo. It is a Chevy Suburban 2025. You can fit 9 comfortably. Everybody get on board. And I really think this. You know what? We're going to be having this conversation a year from now. And I just don't know if I'm on the wrong side of history. I think you guys are on the wrong side of history. And I mean that respectfully. But that's okay. because now we have video evidence of you guys trying to talk me into a two-way player that went to Colorado and said that he's going to be the best thing since sliced bread and bubble screen Sanders.
I bet there was people like you and Terrell Owens and Randy Moss and all these great,
Randy Moss was great at Marshall. That's a Marshall Thundering Herd legend, I might add.
Okay.
He was fantastic. He was in the Big Ten. Right? Or am I tripping?
You sure?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure they were. Listen, what we need is a producer of this show to just fact check me, because I know that I just spew hatred all the time, and I don't even know if I'm right or wrong. But guess what? It fits the narrative right now. Mike, last thing. Can we finalize who you think the top 3 picks will be in the NFL draft, going with the Titans, Browns number 2, and the Giants? Who do you think will be? If you had to bet all your money, bet your house on it.
Titans going Cam Ward. I think that's been pretty solidified for a while now. Browns, Travis Hunter, and then I think Abdul Carter 3 to the Giants.
All right. I love it. I'm writing it down just so.
Manny, do you want to know what conference he played at?
Big Ten.
You ready? No. Very far away from that. It's called the Southern Conference. Not Southeastern Conference, the Southern Conference.
I don't even know what that is. I'm not going to lie to you.
Exactly.
I'm 30 years old. I don't even know. I've never heard of that in my life. Southern Conference. I've never heard of that in my life.
It's a Mid-American. So they were in the MAC. They transferred right before.
The MAC I've heard of.
Yeah,
I've heard of the MAC. I've heard of the MAC. Yeah. Listen. Some slip through. It happens all the time. Skill position's fine. When it comes to quarterback, no. You gotta show me something. You gotta show me something if you're gonna be a quarterback.
Yeah, like Josh Allen did, right? Big conference.
Listen. Look.
And so did
Shedeur Sanders had a Heisman wide receiver.
Conference in the Big East.
Can you name me 2 wide receivers Josh Allen had at Wyoming? No, you can't. I'll help you out. No, there are none. I'm just saying. I'm giving you the answer. You don't even know. There are none. But I know you can name
at a big conference though.
But I'm just saying this. Shedeur Sanders. It's easy to pass the test when you have the answer key. I mean, you can name me 3 wide receivers in Colorado that are going to the draft.
Jimmy Horn, Travis Hunter, and oh my God, I can see it's something with a W.
Webster. Yes, there you go. You see how that came rolled off the tongue?
They got Will Shepherd too.
Yeah,
and Will Shepherd, Mike, that's 4. That's 4 wide receivers that you gave me. Shedeur has as a catalyst in Colorado.
Sometimes
they're going to the draft, Mike.
Good quarterbacks get wide receivers drafted sometimes,
More often than not, it's your wide receivers. It's your wide receivers that sometimes make your quarterback look a little bit better. That's all I'm trying to say to you. In the slight case of Joe Burrow, which he's a national championship and smoking cigars. That's it. But if you're going to be a good quarterback in this league, you either got to show me 2 things. You got to be a winner in college, or go to a big school where I have some litmus tests, where I can see. Name the top 5 quarterbacks.
See, I like the smaller schools, man, because you'll get hidden gems that you can get later in the draft, like Tyreek Hills, Antonio Brown.
Skill positions don't count. I'm talking about bubble screen Sanders and under center. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about quarterbacks. That's what I'm. If you got to go, were cell phones even correct? Was the internet even when Otto Graham was a quarterback? Dial up.
Come on now. You know how you say 8 championships? He's responsible for 7 of them. Don't be disrespecting Auto Graham like that.
I love our 8 championships, but if you go tell another fan of another team that we have 8 championships, they're going to laugh in our face. Aren't they, Mike? Mike knows it, and that's why he's not in his head.
Hey,
So
I don't care.
No, we got 8 championships, but we got them before there was internet.
Hey, it don't matter. It still counts as history. We still celebrate our World War or our battle won versus England, and that happened like 250 years ago. Okay, don't matter.
That's
win's a win.
A win's a win.
It's a win.
You got me. And Mike, thank you so much for hopping on to our crazy podcast. You've answered some really good questions, and I appreciate you for that. I appreciate you for that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And go check him out on Twitter. Mike, drop all your socials so people can go follow you.
I will. Appreciate you guys having me on here, man. Nothing like draft day talking ball, man.
It's fun. The delusion is here.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We will be back at 2:00. And go Browns.
Go Browns.
Go Browns, baby.
Bird